Hey guys, today I'm going to make some homemade almond butter, and it's really easy. It takes a little bit of time and patience, but it's pretty easy and really yummy. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to take about 3 cups of almonds, place them on a tray. These are raw almonds. I'm going to put them in my oven that I've preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these almonds out. Ooh, they smell so yummy. Alright. So in order to process our almonds into almond butter, we're going to need a food processor, or in my case, a blender. It's going to take a while, so that's why we've roasted them a bit, so that they're a little bit easier to process and it doesn't take as long. Alright, to begin, let's put our almonds into our blender. Now usually almond butter doesn't require any oil because the oils from the almonds will be extracted during the process of blending. However, because I have a blender and not a food processor, I have only this little blade at the very bottom, so it's going to take a little bit of extra time and processing power. So it's going to be a good idea to potentially add a little bit of high quality oil along the way. This is olive oil. And so we'll add this as needed if the blender seems to not be processing them as efficiently as they could. Let's go ahead and start processing. I'll start on a low setting to start. I'm being very careful not to touch my spoon onto the blade. Just getting around to move these guys about just a bit. So to aid this along, I'm going to add just a tiny bit of this olive oil. Remember, this is a 20 to 25 minute process, so be patient. Okay, so it's kind of working. Let's see if we can get it to finish. But as you can see, it's already a totally different texture than it was not so long ago, just about 10 minutes ago. So my blender broke. I'm back and I have a food processor now because I broke my blender. It's not so great. So some advice, maybe the blender is not the best thing. It's gonna take a long time and it's really not designed for this in the same way. So a food processor is gonna be a lot more efficient. If I don't break it, it's gonna be a lot more efficient. I'll show you why. I think it's gonna do this processing substantially faster of this almond butter. So now what I'm gonna do is just scoop this partially processed almond butter. So you can see it's not really smooth like peanut butter would be or almond butter would be, but I'm just gonna put it in here. And since I've already processed it for about 10 or so minutes in the blender, it should be quite fast in this guy. I'm gonna take some of this out to not overload it too much to start. Okay, let's give it a try. actually works better when it's not super full, so we'll do this in batches. So you can see after just a few minutes, it's becoming a lot more of the texture that you would imagine when you see peanut butter. Not totally, and it's also excreting some of these oils, which is great. So I'm gonna keep going with this for a few more minutes. It's taking a lot of time to process, and I have to actually push this button down, so here's a little cheat code. Let's check this out now. All right, so since I'm doing this in batches, you can see this first one is ready. It's super creamy now, so I'm gonna put it in this bowl and then do the other batch. And one more time with the cheat code. Okay, batch 2 complete. It is nice and viscous. I can smell it in the air, it's warm. Oh yeah, okay, so it's ready. There you have it, homemade almond butter. So I put it in this glass jar, and I can leave this in the fridge for about a month. I'll check it every time I go to use it. If it smells yummy, I'll eat it. If it doesn't smell yummy, I won't eat it. To recap, I put the almonds in the oven for about 10 minutes on 180 Celsius or about 350 Fahrenheit. And I roasted them and then processed them for about 20 minutes in the blender and then the food processor. I added a teeny little bit of oil, which isn't necessary because the almonds have natural oil that is excreted from them. If you have the right food processor, you won't need it. Anyways, if you make it, let me know, drop me a line, and enjoy.